behaviors that destroy relationships. Many of us make these mistakes unknowingly, while also ignoring the potentially damaging behavior of our partners. Given this and the impact of these mistakes, it is crucial that we make an effort to understand the issues and tackle them before they begin to take root within a relationship. Here are some universal mistakes that can undermine your relationship and erode the trust that exists between two people. 1. Being financially irresponsible. The topic of money can make or break relationship, especially if your issues stem from a reckless attitude to spending or an unwillingness to save. Problems can also arise if only assume financial responsibility for yourself, as this creates a divide within the relationship and shows a lack of consideration. To avoid this, adopt a financially responsible attitude that reassures your partner that you have a future together, while also planning your expenditure to account for the needs of a loved one. 2. Having no other interests outside of your relationship. At the other end of the behavioral spectrum, it is just as debilitating to be completely and utterly consumed by your love for somebody else. This can cause you to adopt a rigid, single-minded focus on your partner, which in turn prevents you from having any other interests outside of the relationship. Such an attitude can prevent you from developing as a person, while also bringing out negative emotions such as fear, anxiety and paranoia. 3. Creating a codependent relationship. This leads us neatly onto the topic of codependency, which can often evolve in relationships where one or both individuals have few outside interests. This type of relationship is defined by a pattern of behavior in which you become dependent on your partner for your confidence and self-worth, meaning that you spend the majority of your time seeking validation. 4. Acting like you are single. While we have touched on the dangers of codependency, it is important to remember that a loving relationship is defined by two people who love, support and interact positively with one another. Balance is therefore key, as while you should avoid the pitfalls of a codependent relationship, you must also remember not to behave as though you are single. When you act like you are single without the consent of your partner, you behave in a way that marginalizes them and disrespects your feelings. Always keep in mind that you are part of a loving union and be willing to compromise on your single lifestyle, using the attributes that attracted you to your partner in the first place as inspiration. 5. Acting in an insecure and overly sensitive way. We all have periods during which we feel sad, unworthy or depressed, and this can have a negative impact on our outlooks and behaviors. Such feelings can also wreak havoc within a relationship, as they negatively affect your partner and trigger emotions such as insecurity and jealousy. No matter how much your partner loves you, they cannot be expected to constantly deal with your own insecurities or lack of self-worth, particularly if their conduct does not warrant such emotions. 6. Showing a lack of affection. Not all people are created equal, and while some of us are extremely affectionate, others struggle to display their feelings through physical intimacy or touch. While most relationships can tolerate this difference to some degree, there needs to be some compromise and you must make an effort to show affection in any way that you can. Without this, your relationship can become stale and drift into friendship, while your partner can begin to feel unloved or undervalued. Hand-holding, cuddling and hugging are simple ways to showcase affection without compromising your physical boundaries. Even if you do not like public displays of affection, you can at least make the effort to do these things in private and behind closed doors. 7. Excessive criticism and nagging. Excessive nagging or criticism of a partner can drag any relationship down, no matter how long two people have known or cared for one another. There are many reasons for this, but the primary issue is that it drives negative reinforcement and focuses on what an individual is not doing rather than their positive contributions to a relationship. It can also trigger feelings of resentment, both in adult relationships and those between parents and children. 8. Display a lack of attention or communication skills. Before, we mentioned that a sustained lack of affection can hinder your relationship. The same principle applies in instances where one partner does not pay attention to the other, or at least fail to communicate their interest in their thoughts, words or achievements. Our obsession with technology has made this a more prominent issue in the modern age, as couples spend a great deal of their time immersed in social and digital media rather than conversing with one another. 9. Being dishonest. It is suggested that we all lie at one point in time or another, either to create a false belief or hide the evidence of a wrongdoing. In most instances these are small, insignificant fabrications, but it is important to remember that lying is a compulsive behavior that can quickly escalate out of control and cause huge damage to a relationship. Whether this manifests itself in infidelity or a series of small, related lies that gradually begin to take hold, this behavior creates mistrust and destroys the fabric of any relationship. The only answer to this is to be honest, and trust in the bond that you have with your partner. A loved one is far more likely to forgive transgressions if you are courageous and honest with them, so this is always the preferred course of action if you are serious about enjoying a long and fruitful relationship. If you are incapable of this, you are not ready to be in a relationship or prioritize the needs of others ahead of your own. 10. Following impulses and compulsions. Unfortunately, lying is just one of the many compulsive behaviors that can ruin your relationship. These can often occur as a result of unhappiness or resentment within a relationship, as we indulge in a particular action to find comfort and solace. This can manifest itself in numerous ways, from shopping and gambling to overeating. These behaviors also show scant regard for your partner and your relationship, particularly as it suggests that you are unable to share the innermost feelings that are causing such conduct. You must therefore become open to being vulnerable and communicate your emotions to your loved one, as you work together to resolve the underlying issues and become stronger as a couple. Only then, and by heeding the other warnings here, can you avoid these relationship mistakes and look forward to a long and happy union.